Here we are continuing on with our awesome retail point of sale CRM, whatever else it becomes. And we're kind of start working on our product card here. So last video, we had a little problem showing the created date that we had created. All right, so if we go in our database here, Shift Command D on Mac, something else on PC. We go into products here and we're looking at our calculation here, the creation date. We go in here and get as date, and creation timestamp is a field that was created, the creation timestamp that was there when we created this table. But anyway, so you can see that that should be working, right? But the problem was, let's open this up. We show it at the calculation result is a number. We had that as number there. As soon as I stopped the previous video and was trying to figure it out, I saw that and I was like, I've done this probably 10 times. You got to be careful when you're doing calculations to make sure you show the type of data you want to show. So when you show a date as a number, it shows the amount of days since the year January 1st, year 1 or year 0, something like that, right? So that way I can add and subtract and do calculations on days. But we don't want to view it as that. We want to view it as a date, all right? So, and I'm willing to get, I probably did that was the creation date. And looks like we have not done a modified timestamp. So we're going to say modified timestamp. We're going to create a modified date and say the date each record was last modified. All right, and so and that is going to be created. Oh, and that's going to be what? A calculation. It's going to be a calculated value. I'm going to go to modification timestamp. Actually, we're going to go get as date. When you press enter, it shows you here whatever's in parentheses. Well, I want it to be the modification timestamp. And hit OK. Well, where's my little number thing? Well, we did it wrong, right? So it's showing as a timestamp. So you see, you can't do it that way. Delete, yes. So we got to do it the right way. All right, so for this one, go Apple database. What kind of field are we creating? This field's going to be a calculation. So now when you do it, it will be correct. Modification date. All right, and I spelled that, didn't I? Modification date. All right, last date, the field was modified. All right, and so now we'll save it. Now we come over here and we can see calculation result is going to be a date. And we're going to say get as date. And it's going to be the modification timestamp. So now when we go edit layout and we do the creation date, we drag it on here just to take a look at it. We'll make it pretty in a second. The creation date, and if we go modification date, and we'll bring that up here, put that in right there. We can kind of see now that creation date is still showing as a number. So what's going on there? Get it back in here, fields, creation date. I guess I didn't save it. Date, hit OK. Okay, now it should work. There we go. So now we see the last time, we see when this field here, when this record rather was created, and then we can now see when it was last modified. But remember, we don't want to see it all like this. So there's something else we can do here. I'm going to edit layout, and first I'm going to change my text here because I don't like that black text on this dark background. We're going to put created because people know what that means, and modified. I like the little colon right there. And we're going to change these to what? Transparent info box white. Yeah, we don't want the title, we want the info. And we'll change these two to white as well. I don't remember if I had a style for that, but whatever. Let's just change it to white. All right, so now let's we're gonna want this to be to the left, and want this one to also be to the left. And what size do we want? Oh, we might want these to be a little smaller. Make that a 9. In fact, make it all a 9. Make these two a 9 as well. Make it nice and small, because this is kind of like a footnote thing in the corner that you really, you're not going to be needing to go after it all the time, that information, but it's there, and a little bit if you want it. So now when we exit layout, we have this here, created, and then the date and the modify the date. I want that a little bit higher, and I want them both over a little bit. So I'm going to move all these bad boys over a little bit. And I think this one was a little too low for my taste, so I'm going to make that guy go up until it's about halfway in between. Now when we exit, oh look, doesn't that look nice? So now I did want to see my key up at the top. All right, and so I want to show you another thing we can do here called, what is it called? Merge fields, all right? And look at the shortcut. We have Option, Control M, or Command rather, Option, Command N, or whatever that is, or you can just select it in the menu. But before I do that merge field, I'm going to do some typing, and I'm going to type product. It makes it long and skinny like that. That's always weird when it does that. Did it leave it there? Yep, it sure did. All right, let's try that again. I guess we might have to make the whole rectangle there. So now I'm going to type product, colon, and now we're going to do what's called a merge field. So I'm going to say insert merge field. What this does is it just shows information in a text form, but it's not a field, so nobody can interact with it. All right, so I'm going to want the key for products. All right, I'm going to take all of this stuff and I'm going to make it all centered. All right, and I'm going to put it all, where's it centered? Here we go. Boom, there's it. Now it's centered. I'm going to make all this bold, and I think I'd like it a little bit bigger, maybe like an 18. Now let's redo that. Oh, now it's always in the middle. There we go. So there we go. I'm starting to turn into a product card now. So we used a merge field. We did a little calculation. Right here's our information. It's kind of the main gist of everything. Well, we want some more stuff in here. So people are going to need to put more information. All right, so the inventory type, that's always important. And inventory type is going to be like, is it a non-inventoried product or an inventory product? Okay, two very different things in retail. Inventoried is going to be a product that you buy, and usually when you buy it, your money is changing forms into inventory. Right? You haven't spent money. Your money just changed forms from your bank account into inventory. Or maybe you took on debt or whatever to get that inventory. So, the debt is balanced by the inventory you have at that moment in an accounts payable to the vendor who sold you the inventory. So that's inventoried items that you sell. But what if it's a non-inventoried item you sell? Sometimes you don't count how many of a thing you have, right? You don't say, oh, we've got 14 of these left. And so in the first case, you're going to get your cost of goods deduction, like when you sell the item, right? Because when you buy it, it's not a cost of goods sold, it's just changing in an inventory. But for an items that you sell that are not inventoried, you take that cost of goods deduction right when you buy them, because you're going to sell them at some point. An example of this, You know, it might be like if you're a furniture store and you give away the little pads that go underneath couches or something. You know, the little sliders, the little pads you stick on there underneath the feet. And maybe you buy them by the case. You buy 1,000 of them, right? But you're not really selling them, but it is a product, right, that you have to buy. So maybe that's a cost of goods deduction right when you buy them all. Because at the end of the month or the quarter or whatever, you're not going to do inventory, right? Even if you do sell them, that's not something you're going to keep up inventory of, right? So that's super important, inventory type. Now we're going to have status. We want to get status on here. We'll clean all this up in a second. Category, right? What kind of category things are. So like if you're a furniture store, category might be living room furniture, or, you know, kitchen furniture, things like that. Status would be it's active or inactive. Oh, we don't sell this product anymore. It's inactive. So maybe we're going to make our whole solution so when it's inactive, it doesn't show things. But you still need it there to keep up with old information, right? Then we got our SKU. That's super important. We'll move all this stuff around in a minute. Then we got our size. Maybe things, you know, often things come in different sizes, right? Maybe you want the 60-inch love seat. Maybe you want the 72-inch love seat, both made, or, you know, kitchen table or something. And then the type, you know, type could be like love seat, maybe. You know, whereas category is living room furniture, type might be love seat. Did I put a type in here? Product type? I don't see it. Maybe I did not. Oh, product type. There it is. You know, so here's some fields we're going to want on here, right? But this looks bad. So let's clean all this up. Let's make all these smaller. All right. We want that to be, that's at a 14. Let's make it a 10. There we go. So now we can fit a lot more. Inventory, we don't need to type out that whole word. If we type IMV inventory type, bam, that's all we need. Put my little colon there. Status. Yeah. Pretty obvious. Category. I think we talked about that. SKU. Make my little colon. Size. Make that little colon. Product type. I think if we just say type, it'll be clear. Especially, we'll make that a drop down or something, so that way you know what's going on. Inventory type. Let's shorten these up. What's the size one? 88, 99, 105. Let's make this like 100. So here's how we can adjust these sizes. Bam, I've got that clicked on. See, it's 99. Let's make it 100. All right. And inventory type, there's only going to be a few, right? We don't want it's people typing in things that don't line up right. You know, this might need to match up on QuickBooks or something like that. So let's make this a drop-down list. Always show the arrow. And we don't have a value list to include in that. So let's make a new value list. And we'll call this inventory type. And we're going to use custom values. So we can say inventoried products, non-inventoried products, services, fees. You know, they all have different accounting implications. I think that's enough for now. All right, we can always make more of that later. So now we say okay, and we've got inventory type drop down. Now let's put this over here kind of toward the side. And let's see how it looks. Boom, not big enough. Look at all that. All right, we need to make that bigger. Or maybe we need to make letters smaller. Let's see what size they are. 14, I'm going to want everything on here being a 12, right? Maybe even a 10. Let's see here. Let's see what happens if we make this a little bigger. Are we taking up the whole damn thing? There's not going to be any room on the other side. Non-inventoried. Needs to go all the way out to there. Maybe we do need to make this like a 10. Let's see what it looks like now. Still don't have the products on there. Still don't have the word product on there. Let's make it a little bigger. See, a lot of this is just fooling around with stuff. What? Oh, there we go. Scoot it back in a little bit. Scoot it back out a little bit. There we go. I'm going to move this guy a little closer to its counterpart there. So now, here we go. It's a product card drop-down list, and it's a field in a product card. And so we've changed all this to be our default. I don't know if I want that to be my default for every field. Maybe I do. Yeah, because the other default was big, right? So if we change this, it's going to change all the ones that have default, right? So I am going to save the changes to my current style because I want that to be the default. Save changes to the theme, the entire theme. So now, anything else that was set to the default should automatically change. Looks like maybe it didn't. So if I go here, click this, default, exit layout, didn't change. Maybe it's default for drop down, right? I don't know. Either way, this one is a 10. Let's make them all a 10. Looking good. Now let's make these be a little bit closer where they're supposed to be. Now we're kind of just doing design stuff, right? I don't need all that real estate for these things. These can be smaller. Oops. Always hit Command Z. Whenever you can hit Command Z anytime you mess something up. Status, that's pretty important, and it's a smaller field, so I'm going to put it over here. Category, let's keep this over on this side. I'm going to want that to be a drop down too at some point. Oh yeah, moved everything, didn't it? And the skew can be a little bit shorter here. I'm going to shorten this up to this amount. Bring my label over here. Size can be smaller. And let's put product type over here. Look how those lines just pop up for you. All right, type, bam. Starting to look into some, oh, modification date, already got that up there, so we can get rid of that. Boom, starting to look like a product card, huh? And we can put some, we'll make more drop-down menus here and clean it up. And then I'm gonna also, we're gonna put oh yeah, we need to have a price. Well, I'm gonna wanna, I want right here, this area to show a list of the different suppliers for this product and how much it costs from each supplier. And then down here, we're gonna want our price. All right, so where's price? There we go, price. Want down there, boom. And is this taxable? You know, well, that's gonna be a checkbox. We're gonna have some checkboxes here. We're gonna have a window here, but I think this is good for now. So now we have just kind of a working beginning of our product card.